All right, here we are for another Saturday Night Live and another interesting week on the board. Yeah. Um, Another interesting week on the board. So I don't know if anybody's been paying attention. We have a lot of extreme takers. They're everywhere and on the board. They just suck everybody's energy. And they're trying to suck mine. It ain't going to happen because I'm going to give them more than they can ever use. We have an unlimited source of energy to draw from. The takers, they don't understand this, and they search to take and take and take and take. And they're caught in that trap of taking. Taking in every which way, shape, or form. Energy, money, time, whatever. It's all taking. I don't have all the answers for these people, but all we can do is elevate their souls to peace, balance, and correctness. And hopefully they will see the light and find that balance. I know toxic minds are all over the place. When your body's in a toxic state, you know, your transverse colon is directly tied to your brain. So if you understand that and you see what people are eliminating, if you see what people are eliminating, you understand why people speak, and the words that come out are literally shit. Sorry for the language. We're living in a shitty world, guys. The evidence is on the master fast when what comes out of your bowels. You know, I don't know how else to put this lightly, but we got a lot of cleaning up to do. The whole world needs a colonic. And we have to be very patient with a lot of people, because in detoxing, it's a delicate art form. How else can I put it? It's only going to come through experience. A lot of these posts that people are putting up with their advice is total ignorance and nonsense, especially when you start hearing about you need nutrition on a fast. Like that. If you're going to put levels of intelligence, that's below parasitic intelligence. The parasite has more intelligence than that. Sorry. You're going to take from master fast on your a level of intelligence, whatever that may be. We're going to help guide you to try and give you an understanding. The true understanding will come with the experience. The experience will give you the understanding when you open that mind and clear the bowels and embrace everything that comes to you. There's no other way. You know, people read and read and read and read over and over, but they don't see the picture because they don't have the understanding through the experience. And this is a little advantage I have over a lot of people because I've done so many things to myself and on many other people, and I've seen so much. It's not that I'm anything special. It's just that's where my journey took me. So, you know, I elevate the souls of all these people recommending nutrition. Nutrition's bullshit. We've proved that. We've smashed the doors wide open on nutrition. It's all bullcrap. The body starts healing, nails growing beautifully, hair growing beautiful, skin radiating on nothing. So when people start talking this nonsense and other people start listening to it, that's where they're at. That's their level of intelligence. You know, and if you look at some of these people, wow, it's interesting. Excuse me, I'm having some of my grape juice. I'm on Master Fast again. It's a little late, but a lot of running around. Just came from jiu-jitsu class. And in martial arts, Aikido jiu-jitsu, it's a very beautiful art. We don't consume energy. We use the opponent's energy on themselves. They use all the energy. So all these people that are naysayers and using all their energy, we'll just turn it back and guide it back to them. And hopefully one day they find balance and get an understanding. Because some of these posts I read, I just shake my head. You know, I've laid out all the information very clearly, very basic. We can get 5-year-olds doing it. Actually, we got 11-year-old and 13-year-old doing it. The 13-year-old that's doing it is more mature than most people, from how she writes. And she's not even English as not even her first language. Beautiful soul. Beautiful soul. I'm glad she's part of our team. But what does it take to heal? Well, we're at almost 8,000 members. It's incredible the growth is happening. And the only reason the growth is happening is because Master Fast is allowing people's bodies to get results they couldn't get anywhere else. We've come from all walks of life. Sad eaters, European eaters, junk food eaters, vegetarians, vegans, raw foodists, high-fat raw foodists, fruitarians, dry fasters. We have a mix of every walk of life that has been experimenting and working with Master Fast. And the reason they're here is because a lot of these people have went through all different avenues of trying to heal themselves, and they've plateaued or they've failed completely. And they get on Master Fast and they're seeing things happen that they couldn't see their bodies, work out the issues before. And the reason is because we've expanded a little more than what other people are doing. We're doing everything completely opposite pretty much than everybody else. We're using all cooked products. And when people start bashing cooked products, they don't have an understanding of how the universe works. Not that I'm saying I know how the universe works. I've scratched the surface in plasma technology, just scratched. And I've been able to gather the information through my experiences, to put together this thing we call Master Fast, which is for everybody. And look at the results we're getting. People, they're seeing results, they're reading about miracles, and they're still blind. They're still looking for answers. Go see your doctor is what I say. Master Fast is not for everybody. When people start recommending juice fasting on this board, juice only fast, I'm going to start eliminating them because I will not support it. There's just no way. I've been there. I've done more juice fast than most people have in 26 years, coming on to 27 years. And you don't want to be doing these juice fasts in today's modern man, full of toxins, chemicals, drugs, things that nature, body doesn't even recognize. Maybe 100 years ago, 50 years ago, you can get away with just juice fasting. Not today. When I did it in 1990, I ended up in bed for 2 years from doing a Concord grape juice fast. That was my first fast. I did nothing but Concord grape juice, nothing else. Burnt out my kidneys. Took me 2 years. Couldn't find any answers from anybody. Excuse me. going to this, that, alternative healers and chiropractors, acupuncturists, herbalists. Couldn't find many answers. Doctors, I gave up on them right away when they wanted to cut me open. See you later. I'm going home. And that's what I did. And I burnt out my kidneys. I have an understanding now what happened exactly back then. Back then, I didn't have a clue. I knew it was something in the kidneys, but I didn't have an understanding. No experience. It was very limited to what happened to me. It was bad. It was bad. It was a couple times there. Thought I was going to go, but I hung on for a reason, I guess, and that's why I'm here. Good learning lesson for us to be able to take people into a different realm and give some people some more hope and to be able to heal themselves. You know, I look at things differently. When you're reading people's testimonials, you got to read between the lines. That's where you're going to get all your answers of the magic happening. Most people miss it. I see it all the time. They just don't understand what's happening. When you're getting scar tissue, simple scar tissue, healing, fading, that's deep level healing, folks. Simple thing as a scar fading and healing, old scars, is very deep level healing. This is what it takes to have a guy who's paralyzed walk again from nerve damage. Nerve damage is scar tissue. They're related very closely. So if you can heal one, you can heal the other. That's why Gabriel, he's on. He's been able to regain over 80% of his mobility back. Thank you very much, Gabriel, for showing us what's possible. And he's pushing it beyond what most will ever do.
My pleasure.
Hello there, brother. Keep shining, man. Keep sharing, because I just we're always up against resistance. It doesn't matter. It's just a little bit frustrating that you know everything that we're trying to do, to give and share and teach, and we still got to deal with all this crap. But that's the way it is in this field, in that alternative type of healing, which is not alternative. It's always been there. It's the origins in the way the creation designed the healing within us. It has nothing to do with alternative. They call it the alternative. They run the system, and there's no money in this for them. So they're going to try and shut us down every which way they can. So we just keep giving more and more. And once everybody, has this knowledge within them, nobody can take it away from you. It's yours. You have it for life. You don't need anybody. You can help your friends, family, if they choose to be helped. And that's what this is about. We just keep giving and keep sharing and keep giving and keep sharing. It's turning out to be a beautiful page. It's a fantastic support system we have. We have our ups and downs. It's only going to strengthen us more. Every time we get these things happening on the board, it's strengthening us more and more and more. That's all I see. So, the people that leave, they're never going to do it. So goodbye. So long. We elevate your souls. The other issue that's concerning is people going through, they call them healing crises. I don't like calling them healing crises. And a crisis is something where it's totally where there's pretty much no control, and it's of the situation. The body doesn't work like that, folks. The body does not work like that. When you're on nature's operating table, meaning into a fast, the body has much more intelligence than most people grant it, because Otherwise, they wouldn't be going to doctors. So they don't trust in their inherent ability to heal completely and perfectly within their own body. So they have to put that trust in somebody else, in a drug, in a doctor, in a herb, in a whatever. They don't want to put that trust in their own body, and or they don't want to do the work to allow the healing to happen. This is pretty much what I see. So they're putting the responsibility to somebody else. And then they get all butchered up and they come crying for help from all these wrongdoings that happened to them, and they're in a way worse situations than they ever were before. And still, with all that happening, we can still help people. Amazingly, the body can still regenerate. There's no limit to what can happen. It's only limited to the imagination. So we get into these, I call them healing reactions. The reason I call it a reaction is because the body is reacting to a change in the terrain to allow healing to happen. When you clean the terrain up to a certain point that the body's happy, it will put all its focus and energy to heal whatever it decides that it needs to heal first. And it does it with intelligence. You may go through situations where you didn't even know you had a problem, and for example, a little ache or pain or something somewhere, and then you go through a healing reaction where the pain comes up more, and then all of a sudden it disappears because the body put the work to heal that area. And a lot of people have talked about, though, their situations with this happening. But when we've lived a lifetime of 30, 40, 50 years or whatever more of toxic things that are not supposed to be in our body, and then we get on these cleanses, and the body starts dumping and dumping and dumping and dumping, and puts some of us into concentration camp looking type victim, skin and bones. And then we have to hear people ridiculing and, thinking we're dying and this and that, which puts a lot of stress on people, especially with no experience. We hear it all the time on the board. So many people have challenges with their family, friends, and co-workers when they're going through these cleanses to try and heal their body, and then they have to hear all this crap and put all that extra strain on them emotionally because they don't have the experience to handle it. Once you've done one master fast, after your second one, you'll have a much easier time going through it. Even if you won't lose as much weight, but even if you do go pretty skinny, you're going to see you'll be able to handle it much better because you have the experience. It's the only thing that's going to allow you to know.
Yeah, you'll be more confident.
That's all it is. But it's so sad. Another girl posted on the board today, she must be really young, that her parents were forcing her to go to the doctor to get these tests, and it's crazy. It's ludicrous. It's ludicrous. Anytime you force somebody to do something, that's slavery. When you force anybody against their own will, it's slavery in any way, shape, or form. We're already in a slave mentality and situation around the world. This is how the governments control everybody. Through the banking system, through the monetary system. Anybody uses money as a slave. We all use it. So we turn around that energy of the knowing that we are, in their minds, slaves, and we send it back to them because we're in the system, and most people agree that that's the system that we need to be in. So we need to use it to live in the system. So it's just a tool. It's just a tool. But in reality, we don't need any currency. Why do you need currency, money, paper, to help somebody build a house? It doesn't make any sense to me. Whoever created this only did it through the intention to control people. Going back to the healing reactions, we have some people going through some very serious ones. And we need to know what to do in these situations. Somebody's got a severe pneumonia, having difficulty breathing, low blood pressure. You know, went to the hospital, stabilized. And that's okay. And that's okay. The issue is when we're doing these cleanses and we're all alone, we have nobody to help us. And this happens. You can't move. You're too weak. What do you do? What do you do? We don't have the system to help us. That's the problem. So it may be okay for you to go to the ER and get stabilized. It may be okay, because if you don't have anybody to help you, you know, you need to do enemas. You need to get some ice packs on you. You need to get some castor oil packs. If you don't have that energy because you're going through a very strong healing reaction, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? If you have a friend that'll help you, God bless, amazing. But we don't have that. So what I see that we, as a group, since we have spread all over the world, we need to know people in certain areas, certain cities would be probably the best. If there's a certain amount of people in that area, if somebody's in need, we should be able to have somebody else close by within that city go over and help somebody in a serious need, to assist them in healing this way, so they don't have to go visit the ER. Because when you go to the ER, what's going to happen? How are they going to stabilize you? They're going to put some IVs, maybe some drugs, and you know, the IVs, if it's saline solution, or what's the other one they use mostly? Sometimes bicarbonate for some things. There's a couple other ones. Those things, there's no issue really with those. The saline, that's just salt water. But when they start injecting you with drugs to suppress things, this is where the challenges come, and you're going to just have to detox that stuff out again later. But, you know, if you're by yourself and you're in the situation, you've read everything, you know all the tools we have to use, but when you're in that situation, you're blind. You go blind. You don't remember. You start panicking, especially if you can't breathe. That's a serious issue when you're having problems breathing. Because right now we still all need air to breathe. Until we can learn to live without it, we need to breathe. So that's the number one thing I tell everybody. If you can't breathe, it's time to, like especially on a dry fast, you can't breathe. Even if you're trying to force yourself, break the fast slowly, and you know, shoot for a longer one next time. But you got to be careful when these healing reactions come up. Enemas. You can't do too many enemas. You got pneumonia, you got coughs and all that. The colon is known as the third lung. It will only help you. You know, we got people against colonics and enemas and all kinds of stuff. I don't know, man. It's just, the colon is just a muscle. And the water entering is just exercising your muscle. That's all it's doing. It ain't going to weaken it. It's only going to help strengthen it and help you pull out the toxins that the fasting has loosened up. Not the other way around. Not the other way around. People go to do colonics while they're eating and all that. Sorry, folks. You ain't going to dig into the cellular structure of the body by doing colonics eating. Ain't going to happen. You'll remove some debris, the loosen stuff and all that. Ain't going to pull any interstitial. Only way you're going to do that is fasting. Fasting. And the most expanded is the dry fast. The juice that we're drinking is powerful. If anybody's on it, I'm sure you know. It's way more powerful than any raw juice. Anybody who's done raw juice fasts in the past, and then they've been on master fast, they know. They know. There's no comparison. It's as far as night and day, the difference. Because the cooking structure, I've talked a little bit, we're opening up the structure and bringing it to higher order. That's the proper word. And people say you're killing it. When people say you're killing food by cooking it, they have a very limited understanding of universal conditions of how creation works. That's man's limited thinking in nature. When we eat, folks, we eat raw. When we cleanse, we're using higher order things from nature, because the stuff that we have in nature to cleanse man's condition, which is not anywhere near natural order of laws anymore, because they've been eating crap and taking chemicals and so on and so forth, the nature will not help you cleanse properly. You're going to plateau. Talk to anybody, and there's many who've been on raw juice fasts on the board. That's why they're here. You plateau. You plateau. Master Fast System has no plateau. We've talked about this many times. There's no plateau. There's no end of the gas pedal. The more you push, the more it cleanses. Keep pushing, keep cleansing. All raw juice fasts have a plateau. There's a certain amount you can push, and you're going to maintain that. That's the difference. When you're talking working in higher orders, you're talking plasma. You're talking things that most of us don't have a good understanding, including myself. And like I said, I've just barely scratched the surface. So we're taking these things to a higher order. This is why people eat cooked food, and it's so addictive, because it's brought to a higher order. The issue, I've explained this before, the issue with eating cooked food is the residues. It's the residues they leave behind. Even vegetables. And then everything below that is horrible. You know, your dairy, when you cook them, your grains, your meats, and your nuts and seeds. These leave residues that the body has a problem getting rid of. And that's where we get sick. The body starts accumulating these residues, and there become obstructions, stagnation, energy doesn't flow, we get sick. We get disease, the body's out of balance, all these different names, whatever you want to call them. The body really sees balance and unbalance. That's all the body knows. All those medical mafia names, all the different names, the heart disease, you know, restless leg syndrome, they have one, ADD, autism, diabetics, cancers, oh, bullcrap. They own those names. Give them back to them. They own them. Don't use their names. Give them back. We do not own those names. We don't want to even be part of those names, because the body only recognizes balance and unbalance. So we always look for things to try and bring the body back to balance. That's all we're trying to do. And how do we do that? We remove the mind. Get yourself a box, a metal box. Put your mind in the metal box and lock it up. Don't worry, it'll never go away. Lock it up when you do these cleanses. And then do your cleanse. And that mind, anytime it tries to talk to you, tell the mind you're in the box and you're locked until I finish. And believe me, your fast is going to go much better. Because that mind is going to do everything it can to try and stop you, try and persuade you to put nutrition, try and persuade you to do whatever, take this, that, or the other vitamin, mineral. So, you know, I look at things, try and make them as simple as possible. I still sometimes have a challenge seeing why people don't understand when they read the Master Fast, the way it's laid out, that they don't have an understanding of it. It's so basic and so simple. To me, I don't know. So most of us, they've got it. They read a few times. Okay, this is what you do. But some people just don't get it. I've read it 20 times and I don't understand it. Okay, well, we need to get cleansing, so just follow our instructions. But so the cooked food leaving these residues. The beauty about fruit, even cooked, doesn't leave residues. And how's about that? That's beautiful. So there must be something of truth, because we don't know what truth is, but there must be something to truth and reason of us being able to take fruit juice, cook it, and have massive cleansing power in the body, leaving no residue behind because it's cleaning very good. It's like liquid Drano. So there must be some truth that the fruit has a connection to man in some way, in physicality. As food, maybe? Maybe we're fruitarian. Maybe we're beyond that. Maybe we don't need any food. I believe everything's possible, but in the mentality of physicality, yeah, we're closest to fruitarian animals. But the animal kingdom is only a reflection of man, emotion-wise. That's why they eat each other. As soon as man stops eating each other, the animal kingdom will stop eating each other. So, you know, we don't need to cook the juice. We can go to grocery stores or whatever and buy our cooked juice. This is at Costco. It's pretty cheap. I think it's $9 for 2 of these now. It's almost, it's 2.84 liters. How much is that in quarts? It's about 2 quarts, 2.5 quarts, 2.5 quarts. It's pretty reasonably priced. You don't have to worry about juicing, cleaning a juicer, all that stuff. If you want to do that, that's fine. And it's plastic. This is the cheapest one I could find. You got to understand energy, folks. This plastic can't hurt you. If you concentrate on the chemical makeup of this plastic, that's going to be absorbed into the juice, and you're done. You're done. That plastic cannot hurt me. That juice is not organic. All those chemicals, I've transformed them. Most of us are not doing organic juice because it's not important. We're doing everything opposite of everybody else. We're not doing raw. We're not doing organic. We're not doing this, and we're doing everything opposite. We're exercising. I tell everybody, exercise when you're fasting. Everybody else is telling you to rest. We're doing everything opposite, and we're getting the best results. Maybe we're doing something wrong. Maybe we shouldn't be getting results. If everybody else is right, there's no right or wrong, but we're just adding to the knowledge of what we knew. We've learned what we knew in the raw food stuff. Did that for many years. It was great. But we've added to the knowledge. We don't have to unlearn. We just add to the knowledge because we wouldn't be here if we didn't do that before. You know, we went through the cooked food, the vegetarianism, the veganism. Then we went to the raw foodism. Some of us fruitarian, some of us the high fat. I did it all. I did it all. Many years. And some of these things are outright dangerous. A strong constitution person will be able to survive for a lot longer, just like sad eaters survive. Doing it for some of them 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 years, eating a sad diet. Cooked food and shit. Meat, this, that, the other thing. They're surviving. Are they thriving? No. Can you imagine what they'd be doing if they were eating properly and limiting their intake? They'd be really thriving, not just surviving. So that's the difference. You know, the high fat, they call it a ketogenic diet. You're going to feel great for a while. It's stimulating. And you get strength out of it. People who want to lose weight, they'll lose weight, but you're going to burn yourself up. Lymphatically, it plugs up your lymph system. Even though it's giving you that false energy, the stimulant, just like any other stimulant, drug, coffee, or whatever, it's going to burn you out. And that's what happened to me. So, you know, we have an understanding of how to use cooking to our advantage, folks. If you look at like Chinese, Japanese, the older ones, like the new generations, again, the junk as well now, they've always been cooking. They cook pretty much everything, and, you know, with high heat, but their food amount is very small. They're not big eaters. That's one of the keys. and they're eating cooked food because the cooked food is packed with high energy packets. You don't need lots of it. The problem that cooked food eaters have is they eat too much, way too much, and we go back to the residues. So if you're eating small amounts and you're limiting, you're going to still be able to be pretty good in health-wise, because the Chinese, they have Japanese, they have better health ratings than the North Americans in general. It's getting worse there day by day. As the years go on, they're taking up the Western North American habits. But in history, they were always small eaters. And they cooked everything pretty much. But you have to understand what's happening with cooking. You're creating GANs material. You're opening up the structure to release its energy. That's why it's addictive, because the energy is easy for the body to assimilate because we're in a GAN state. But the issue is the residues. How do we get away from the residues? We stop eating the cooked food that way. We make herbal teas. That's one way. You're heating it to open up the structure. You're not using the fiber. You're using the energy of the plants. Magic. It's not magic. It's understanding that we're opening up the structure plasmatically to release its energy to the water. That's the key, folks. The key that everybody missed. And this is what we're teaching and what we're showing through results. It works. The grape juice, the tea. The tinctures is a little different but similar because we're using alcohol instead of heat to release the energy of the plants into the alcohol. Alcohol is also known as spirit. I've explained this before. Spirit to spirit. Spirit of the alcohol takes on the spirit of the plants. And then we use that to carry the spirit through our physical body and our astral body. As soon as the tincture touches your tongue, it's working. That's why I suggest for dry fasting, if people are having challenges, even a few drops, one drop, you're gonna get a pickup. The herbs are gonna do their magic for you. I say half of a dose of a regular tincture, which is a half a drop or a quarter teaspoon at the most. But honestly, only need a few drops. If you want to push further in a dry fast, you're having some challenges. But I always suggest go dry, don't do anything. See how far you can take it. And then if you having some challenges, use the tinctures to help you out. I don't see no disadvantage, folks. I've tried both ways and I continue doing both ways. So we use the tools to assist us and to help us, because the herbs are such highly elevated souls. They're here to help us in times of need for when we're sick. That's when we're supposed to use them. We shouldn't abuse them. When we're sick, we use them. If we're healthy, there's no need for them. Just fast and eat small amounts of food, and you'll be able to thrive that way once you've cleaned out all the obstructions after 7 to 9 years. That's how long it takes. 7 to 9 years. People are looking for magic to happen in 108 days, and it does. It does. But you're not going to, most likely not completely resolve all your issues in 108 days. Huge transformations are happening. Anybody who's done 108 days, even 40 days, huge transformations. And we have so many people on their second and third, and some even on their fourth master fast. I only started sharing this 2 years ago. 2 years ago. Online. So, I've been talking about a lot of different things, but the support system is crucial. I can't force people to read, but if they don't want to read, we really can't help them, because If they don't want to go through the files, but they want us to rewrite it for them in their post, it's ridiculous. They're takers, and I can't deal with that. So if people want to have an understanding, they got to read, got to watch videos. All the information's free. I'm not rewriting it for you personally. Sorry. It's no reason to you to take my energy. I've given you, and I keep giving my support to the page. I can't keep up anymore. I put a post earlier this week. I can't keep up anymore. And it's just too many posts. I do my best to go through. There's just too many people. And one of the main reasons is all the questions that people that have not read are taking up board space and people's energy, which is not fair to everybody else that's in need of support and in need of having an intelligent question answered. And I may miss some of them now because of so many people are posting things that unnecessary. What is Masterfast? I've seen that several times. They're on the page. What is Masterfast? So we can only elevate the soul. But the healing reactions are real. Some of us will be lucky and not go through any. And some of us will have a hell of a healing reaction that you feel like you're dying. And some of us will be coming close to death in healing reactions. It's not impossible, can't happen. People die eating, smoking, taking drugs, sleeping, going for a swim, walking across the street. You know, death is not something that is unavoidable, it seems, at the moment. Until we can go into transparent state and walk off this planet, we're going to die. Is it going to be through Masterfast? Maybe. You know, there's people who've died. You know, but I had one woman that she posted it earlier. She was an extreme cancer case. They took everything out of her, all her female organs, uterus, everything, cut off her breast, chemoed the hell out of her, radiation. She started holding a lot of edema, water in her belly. And then she contacted me when I was in Italy and wanted help. And I says, okay, well, you know, we got to get started. Let's do all this, this, and that. Then I didn't hear from her. And then I think it was 2 or almost 3 months later, she calls me again, freaking out. Oh, I got to get started. I go, I'm waiting for you. I can't do it for you. And I've told you what we need to do. So she finally got everything. And so like 3-4 months passed out from that point, you know. Then she started getting into it, doing the Masterfast, and started feeling great and everything. Was still having a edema problem, going to the hospital, get the water removed and stuff. She was feeling energetically great and everything. It went on for about 3 weeks or so, and then, you know, we were talking and everything, and she's there, you know what? I'm finally at peace right now, and I think it's time for me to go. And I go, well, if that's how you feel, I go, it's your choice. You can stay or you can go. This is the path to choose. She goes, yeah, I think it's time. And it was a week later she passed. She was at peace. So I hope that soul find peace before she moved on, because they butchered the hell out of her. She was tormented. So she was able to find peace in her death. Beautiful thing. Beautiful thing. And then there's the other case where I had this person's grandfather come, cancer, skin cancer, riddled with skin cancer, was set to go for chemo, gets on the Masterfast, and starts feeling great. And then he was getting concerned because he was losing a lot of weight, but he had an old shoulder injury, like from 30, 40 years prior. And he goes, I don't know, I don't have the pain no more. It was an old injury. But the weight, psychologically, he was in the 80s. He couldn't handle the weight loss. And he had no support from his wife, and his family member were pressuring him to go back to the doctor to do the chemo. So he went to the chemo, and he passed very shortly. And I think he survived the 2 months after the treatment. So family members could be quite dangerous when they're forcing you to go against your will. And these are the things that can happen. So we want to know the good, the bad, and the ugly. We don't hide from the truth because we're not going to learn. People are going to die? Yeah, of course people are going to die. There's no death. It's transition. You just lose the body and keep going. If you want to point your fingers at blaming the master fast killed me, go for it. It's your soul. Your soul. You're going to have to deal with that. Your karma. Anytime you point the finger, you're going to have many pointing back at you. Just a mirror. No such thing as separation. It's an illusion. So the thing I was talking about earlier about it would be great if we can form some kind of helping hand system where in different cities close to by, 6 people got together in a certain state, a certain city or whatever, that if somebody was in need, somebody can go help. If they're in a healing situation, a healing reaction, that somebody like they're by themselves and they can't do anything. They need somebody to help them do enemas, make their teas, do whatever. If we can get something like this happening, because the system's not going to do it for us. You go to doctors, you got to take what they give you. They ain't going to help you support your juice fast, your master fast, your tinctures and your tea. They're not going to support that. So if we can mastermind something together, that would be amazing, amazing. Try and open healing centers. That's an option, but that's a lot of money. If you have a body and you're alive and you can go to somebody's house and help them, no money involved really. You take some of your time out. What better thing to do than help somebody in need? What better thing to do? I'm on this computer like 16, 18 hours a day. I don't think you guys realize how many hours I spend helping people. And then off the page, doing consults and stuff. It's just it's a lot of time consuming. And energetically, I have to really concentrate on raising my field strength because when you're dealing with thousands of people that have all sorts of health issues and emotional issues, it takes a toll on you. So you have to really raise your field strength, or you're not going to be able to help and handle yourself. So I don't think a few of you there's quite a few of you that are into health. I don't like calling practitioners, because some practice is something that you practice. You practice on somebody with their money. Lawyers practice, accountants practice, doctors practice. These are practices. They practice on you with your money. Like when I hear alternative healthcare practitioner, I don't like that terminology. We need to find a better word. Yeah, I don't know, healer. But anyway, you guys know what I'm talking about. Healthcare worker, whatever. I'm just saying how corrupt the English language is to suck your energy into it. It takes from you. So we need that kind of thing.
Yeah, when you're helping somebody, you have to refeed yourself.
Yeah, we have an endless supply of energy from the cosmos, from the universe. You need to believe and know that we can access it. You need to believe and know. You need to believe and know you can access unlimited abundance energy, folks. And in that is all creation, meaning nutrition's a lie. You don't need anything out there. Everything is within, and we've proved it. Dry fasting is as vast as the stars. You can't get anything that you can add to the body that comes close to dry fasting. Doing absolutely nothing. Master fast is a glorified dry fast, if you haven't noticed. It's all around dry fasting. It's a lax cascade. That's all it is. It's a lax cascade. I think Gabriel's is still on the cascade, if I'm not mistaken, or did you come off it? It's
No, I'm still on it.
wow. How you feeling?
Well, a little bit more tired towards the middle. I shouldn't say the end, but
Yeah. Excellent.
I'm taking shorter ones, 1 to 3 days of dry fasting, and then breaks in between by day longer. But Cascade is unbelievable
Oh,
power.
yeah. What day are you on?
Today's 21st, so 85th.
Wow. Yeah. When you start getting up there, man, you're really pushing the envelope, buddy. it's,
Yeah,
it's
but it's fun. It's fun. It's
yeah.
a lot of healing going on. So
How's your nerves responding?
uh, we still have ways to go, but a lot of areas. It's very hard to explain to people.
Yeah, I understand.
These are patches of in a million of fields of nerves in the body, and so it's just doesn't make sense to the person who does full mobility because he didn't have that experience of losing almost everything,
Yeah.
and it controls in your body everything, the function of your organs, the breathing, the flow of the fluids, the like blood and lymph as well. It influences everything. It's just not one thing, and that's why neurological is so difficult to heal.
It's the toughest out of everything. It's the toughest.
Yeah, because it affects all the systems in the body,
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
So that's not to heal, like a cold or sneezing. It's a little bit more complex.
Yeah.
But yeah, Cascade is doing miracles. Yeah, it's much easier than longer fasts.
Yeah.
And I can do those in the warmer days of the year, like or late spring or summertime. But for winter time, and especially so deep into MFS, Cascade is that's a good stuff. Good stuff.
Amazing, brother. Amazing, brother. Keep going. Keep going, man. This is Gabriel Ellis, folks. Maybe if you don't know him, he was paralyzed the whole right side from a parachute accident. Hit the water 90 mile an hour. Went into coma for 10 days, and 9 operation, 10 months, I believe it was. 6-7 years ago, the accident. He's walking and swimming again. How's that, folks? Yeah, cooked juice, folks, and try fasting.
A lot of raw food still doesn't get that stuff. I mean, and look at the what's his name? The other day he posted that deep stuff was coming out, and he's raw foodist for years, and so he thinks he was very clean.
Who was
And
that?
not the case. I forgot the name. I think Fox, Owen Fox.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, he private messaged me, and he couldn't understand it.
Yep, and that's what it is. A lot of raw foodists are confused into this belief system. So they blindly believe that raw is everything.
Raw's
No,
law.
it's not.
Yeah,
So, and we know that way better.
yeah. For eating it is law, but the issue is when you clean to the levels that we're going, the food consumption that your body needs is so small because everything's so efficient.
Oh yeah, that's why Evo got to what, couple eating times per day, and that's what I'm planning to.
Yeah.
1 or 2 maybe.
Yeah, we don't want to go more than 2 meals a day, folks, ever.
Yeah.
1 meal is great, 2 meals max, and keep them fairly close to each other because we're always in a dry fasting window every day. So yeah, thanks for sharing, Gabriel. It's amazing. If you have any other tips, share.
Well, when those gonna come, I will for sure.
But guys, believe whatever you want. We're not here to push pressure anybody, force you to believe. It doesn't matter. If you understand what Gabriel Ellis has achieved, it's impossible in most people's eyes. It's impossible to regenerate nerves. Not impossible. Everything's possible. He's one of our superheroes, man. One of the greatest superheroes on here. Him and Martin, there's lots of you that are superheroes, and everybody's a superhero, but these guys have have had to push the envelope much further than the rest of us because of the severity of their situations. His was an accident. Miran's was butchery from the medical mafia. Extreme butchery. Removed his lymph system. How's, huh? And well, chemo to the tilt. And many operations. 3 types of cancer. And people are saying that Masterfast it spreads cancer. Oh, geez, man. The ignorance of people. We don't even know if these people are doing it, what they're doing. We don't know. We don't even hear from them.
Miriam has a question.
Go ahead, Miriam.
Miriam.
Unmute.
Yeah, I'm unmuted. Hi.
Hi.
Thank you so much for everything.
You're welcome. That's why we're here. We got to change the thing to what's happening on this planet. It's I had enough of watching people getting robbed, raped, burned. You know, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. I'm not prepared to start the complete thing with the herbs, but I do want to get started with the pudding and the grape juice lemon thing.
What do you mean?
I don't know. I just feel like it would be good for me.
You mean stop eating?
I'm not ready to stop eating.
Okay. So you want to go into a type of hybrid thing?
Yeah, I want to stop eating only when I have the herbs.
Yeah. Are you dealing with anything severe?
Yeah.
What's if you don't mind sharing?
I was diagnosed with cancer a few years ago, and I did the surgery on my thyroid, and they removed a lot of lymph nodes.
Did they remove your thyroid?
Yeah,
The whole thing?
the whole thing. Yeah.
Okay. Did you do any chemo, radiation?
Radiation.
Okay. In a situation like yours, what's your diet been like in the last few years?
Few years. Well, I developed this cough about 4 years ago, so I dropped dairy. In the past few months, first I stopped dairy, it didn't help. A year or two later, I think about a year ago, I started raw. I live with my children, so there's a lot of, there's food that I would rather not eat, but because it's in the home, I'm often tempted.
Yeah, sure.
Mm-hmm.
Well, in a situation like that, did they give you, are you still doing treatments from them or?
No, but I want to say that lately I'm having severe vertigo, a lot of vertigo, and I have non-epileptic seizures too, but the vertigo is debilitating.
Well, yeah, I've been there. I know what you're talking about. I just came off a concussion not too long ago. It took me 6.5 days to cure it, dry fast.
Wow.
Cure, if you want to call that cure, to heal it. In a situation like yours, starting to drink some grape juice and taking the pudding while you're eating, you're going to get a little bit of benefit. The issue is to allow the body to heal. We really need to stop eating. That's where you're going to get the deep level of healing. You're not going to get somebody who's paralyzed walking again while he's eating. You've just talked to the man. He's been there. He's done that. The fruits, the herbs, plateaued. Could not get any more healing happening until he started doing what we're doing here in Masterfast. Then things started opening up for him. So it depends where you're at. If you want to heal, you need to go full out, load up on herbs, get into the real Masterfast.
Mm.
If your body is in such a toxic state, where drinking the juice, you're having some crazy reactions just on the juice, which some people have, you may want to go into a green juice fast for 1 or 2 weeks to cool down all the acids before going into a Masterfast. But, drinking a glass of grape juice and eating what you're eating, I don't know what you're eating, but if you're eating any animal products and if you're eating cooked food, you can pretty much forget about any type of healing in your situation that's going to happen unless you are able to go within, connect to source, and do instantaneous healing, which is possible. It's not. I'm not saying it's not. Few of us are able to do stuff like that, but a lot of us have to do it the hard way and do the physical work because we're dealing with emotions. All the seed of all the disease comes from emotion. The physicality of the disease comes within the GI tract. That's the root. The seed is the emotion. So the seed gets planted, then the roots grow through your GI tract, and the disease spreads to cause imbalance. So how do we deal with that? We got to clean it out. We got to clean out the GI tract. And when you're eating, you ain't going to get to the cellular level. You're not, because you're putting the energy towards digesting instead of putting all the energy to healing. That's why we see the magic on Master Fast. We don't eat for a long, long time, even months. Marin is, he did 240, 250 days straight, took a break, and he's still going. He's over 300 days of Master Fast. He's living on it. So, you know, you can believe whatever you want to believe. People call us extreme. I call extreme going to the doctor, getting your body ripped apart, taking body parts out. I call that extreme. Everybody has a different perspective. So Master Fast is extreme for those minds of lower order. When you move into the higher order, you understand fasting is nature's operating table of perfection. Dry fasting is as vast as the stars. Your body can heal anything. Most of the spiritual gurus of the past fasted. And all animals fast when they're ill or injured. They don't water fast, they dry fast. Bears do it for 7.5 months hibernating. So, you know, we have to do it with a little more prudence because we've lived against nature's laws. As I've discussed before, we're so full of toxins, the body can't recognize. And when we're trying to eliminate these things, we can burn out all our organs, which happened to me. So we use prudence. We use our best friends, the herbs, the highly elevated souls, to help us and aid us to keep the doors open and moving so we don't do damage. And when you're using the herbs, the results and the feeling of going through the fast is much better. So anybody who doesn't want to use them, I'm not going to support them. Go to other pages. I've said it so many times. We won't support Juice Only Fast. You need to be on herbs. That's the Master Fast. The system, everything in the system is there for a reason. If you just want to do, how many meals you eat in a day, Miriam?
I eat, most of my food is fruits, raw fruits.
Great.
And I soak my nuts. I sprout some mung beans.
Nuts and seeds, you're eating, how many of those, you eating them every day?
No, not every day. Every other day, I would probably eat a handful of almonds that are been soaked 24 hours.
Way too much.
Really?
Yeah. The high-fat diet almost killed me. That's way too much. Handful of almonds, that should last you 3 months.
Wow.
At the least. You don't want to be eating nuts and seeds. A few here and there, occasionally. Mm-hmm. And soaking them, you want to soak them so they're easy to digest. They're too much protein, too much fat. Body, it'll just clog up your lymphatic system, and that's your energy system, and that's where all our problems come. Not the blood system, it's the lymphatic system. It's 4 times bigger than the blood system. Mm-hmm. This is the problem that modern medical mafia does not understand, and maybe they do, and maybe they just are doing it so they can control everybody better. I don't know. But the lymphatic system is so important. It's got no pump. And when you start eating all these processed fats and everything and high proteins, the kidneys start shutting down and burning, the GI tract burns, and the lymphatic system goes stagnant. And once it starts going stagnant, you get parts that start hardening, and you get stagnation in certain areas of the body. That's where you feel all aches and pains. It's all lymphatic. It's not muscles. It's all lymphatic. And that's when things start going bad because you have no energy moving. And when there's stagnation, then you start getting deterioration and rotting and parasites and whatever happens. And that's where you get your disease. So the fruits is great. How many meals a day you eat?
I don't really have meals. I eat when I'm hungry.
So how often would that be a day?
Like, well, today I had 2 oranges and a banana and an apple.
All in one meal?
No, I can't eat that much in one meal. Just,
You're doing it through the day?
yeah.
Horrific. This is not the way we eat. This is the other thing. You're constantly having your digestive system to work. This is where we do everything different. This is why we have dry fasting windows. We're closing our eating and drinking time when we're eating. And when we're on massive fast, we're just drinking in a closed window because we want the stomach to rest longer each day. That's the key. And then at the end of the week, we have a long dry fast, complete rest for 24 to 48 hours. If you're new at this, you start on 24. Each day, you start on 12. That's where newbies should start. I see newbies going to 16, 18 hours. They're going 30, 40 days, and they start crashing on master fast because it digs deep. You can't handle that on a dehydrated body in a cellular level. Everybody's dehydrated at 20 to 30% minimum. Everybody. It takes years to rehydrate the body, to turn from dehydrated to a hydrated state. So for you to improve right now, to start some changes, I would go with 1 or 2 meals a day maximum. And you close the window. You start doing the dry fast in minimum 12 hours a day to start. So your sleep time is whatever, 8 hours. You add a few more hours before you start eating in the morning. So if you go to bed at 10, at 10 o'clock in the morning is 12 hours. And that's your 12-hour dry fast each day. So, then you start taking on your juice. Your first meal should never be before 11, 12 o'clock if you're going to have a couple of meals. And then your next one a few hours later. And that's it. No snacking, no none of that stuff. That all reduces your body's capability of healing when you have something in the stomach all the time. And your digestion gets weaker and so on and so forth. And the more you eat, the more you want to eat because it's emotional. And it's the other issue is that the body is such in a toxic state, you want to continue eating to stop the healing. Because when you stop eating, the body immediately goes, when the stomach gets empty, the body immediately goes into healing mode, into elimination mode to start healing. That's what happens when you sleep. And that's why sleep is important. So if you're continuously eating, it just gets worse and worse and worse over the years. And then there's people say, oh, I can't go an hour without eating. They're always snacking because they can't sleep. Their body's all totally acidic, all totally irritated because they have these bad habits. The body doesn't have the rest to put its energy in healing. It's that simple. So right now, the best thing you can do is move to 2 separate meals a day. Drinking the juice, have a meal, you're going to have to digest. If it's fruit, half an hour max, completely should be digested. Then you can sip again until your next meal and go for that. But I don't know why people are so reluctant to buy herbs. They're so cheap. And the cheap insurance that they give you and the effectiveness and the ease is beyond the cost of what the herbs are. You don't have to believe me, but you don't have to buy them. You can make your own. Go pick them. They're free. Look at all the categories that we need for minimum to support the body. Kidneys, adrenals, lymphatic, and bowels. Always, always, always. That's the minimum we support. And we use a kidney tea. We put a lot of emphasis on kidney. So you're denying yourself health by not using herbs, in my opinion. I will never recommend water fasts again from what we've learned. with all the group in this past year. So much things we've learned. So water fasting is out the door for me. Never again will I recommend it. We don't need it. It's too stressful on the kidneys and on the whole body. It's ridiculous doing water fast when we can do grape juice and we can continue working and doing everything we want every day and eliminate like nothing else and get better results. And we can keep going and going and going and live on it. So all I can just suggest for you is invest in yourself if you think you're worth it. If you don't, you can make the choice of where you want to go. I highly recommend the herbs. My minimum for people is the Divine 9. That's my minimum. The absolute minimum to be on this cleanse is the Star Formation 4, we call it. So everybody works within their understanding of what their health is worth to them. That's the only way I can put it. I've went out of my way to get the absolute best tinctures possible on the planet, on the market. And we've done it. We've done it. My good friend, I've known him for many years. These guys have done tests upon tests upon tests on how to make the best tincture extracts with herbs. And they have the best. They have the best. I have total confidence. Ask anybody who's on them. And most people have tried other people's herbs. There's just no comparison. They're powerful. They have a certain way of doing them, and it's not didn't happen overnight. A lot of tests went into this over the years. So and the funny thing is, ours are priced less than pretty much most others out there that are watered down. So you can go buy the ones out there that are watered down. Go for it. You're going to get at the best 4.3 to 1, and at the worst you're going to get 6, 8, 10 to 1, meaning it's all water. It's all water. So
Can I ask you something about temperature?
Sure.
I'm not sure it's related to the fact that I don't have a thyroid, but
Yeah.
I cannot. It's really hard for me to generate body heat and then retain it. And so
Thyroid controls your body temperature. So you're going to have to use hot water bottles, saunas, breathing techniques, movement. You're going to have to do all that. And if you're really serious, you're going to get on Master Fast. You're going to get on a ton of herbs. You're going to go 108 days without thinking about it and start getting your mind to regenerate your thyroid. It's up to you. It's not impossible. Where do you want to take it? Or you can stay the way you are. It's always yours. We can help guide you. Don't think for a second that you can't regenerate your thyroid.
well, I believe it can happen. There's just something about being so cold here in the winter.
Yeah, where do you live in?
New York.
Yeah. Okay, you're not too far. You're in Toronto. The cold is even a challenge for a lot of us that we're, we have thyroids because their bodies become so imbalanced. When the body's full of obstructions, all the glands and organs they're all clogged up. Their fields can't work. They don't work. So we get sick. That's all it is.
Gino, don't forget your warming herbs too. Your gingers, your chilies, those sorts of things.
Yeah. They'll help. But there's a lot of things you can do. We have a lot of tools, folks. We have a lot of tools. Sometimes I can't even think because there's so many tools that we have today. When I started this, I had nobody. I had a book, no internet, nobody. Asking people, couldn't get any answers. I had nobody. Today, what we have here now is changing the way we can heal. Talk to the people who've been on Master Fast. Forget about talking to people who have not done it. You're wasting your energy. Because a lot of the people that come on the board, the naysayers, and we get a lot, have no freaking clue. Their level of intelligence is in low order. Low order. Very low field strength. They're stuck in their ways of understanding. It's limited, and they don't want to take their blinders off. We can't help people who don't want to take their blinders off. Raw is law. We've smashed that thing wide open. Bullshit. Bullshit. I was one of them. Raw is law. Over 9 years, I did not touch cooked food. So when people start talking, they can talk because I've done it. I've done it. You can see my pictures. I reached a very high, extreme state of health, and then I destroyed my health, listening to the wrong people, trying to improve my health, folks. And that smashed me emotionally. I was done for a few years to get my head wrapped up and snap out of that. And here I am. I got out of it. So I'm able to share what really works because I've done it. I don't know everything. I'm far from it. The more I find, the more we know, the more we don't know. We're just scratching the surface in understanding plasma. And I posted the Tom. He's also was part of the Keshe Spaceship Institute. He's on the page as well. He does better videos than me for how to work with plasma and how to do this and that. So we may be doing a workshop together in the near future. But he posted an article, a great article, because last Thursday, Keshe Institute made a great announcement. They have, they're opening Keshe Spaceship Institute Hospital in Africa, Ghana. And they started doing some research in Japan as well. And the initial results are amazing. So we need to share this. I've shared it before.
Somebody added,
What is it?
somebody added the Wim Hof method for help.
Yeah, the Wim Hof. Look up Wim Hof. We have a file, and look up his videos on how to do the breathing technique. That's great. And then use cold showers as well. He teaches. Yeah, every time you take a shower, end with cold as long as you can. The first one may be 15 seconds. The second one may be 16 seconds. The third one may be 18 seconds. You need to force yourself, but you have to do the breath work that he teaches. So you do the breath work before you go in the shower. When you're all calm, then you go in the shower, and then you end it with cold. Start doing that. That'll help your cold as well. The other issue is hot and cold. If you get 2 pots of one hot water, one cold water, not boiling hot, but so you can put your hand in or your foot in it, and you change either your feet or your hands. Hot for a minute, then change. Cold one foot and hot the other. That stimulates heat movement as well. There's a lot of things you can do if you want to resolve those situations. Going back to the results, what they're doing with the GANS material in the Spaceship Institute, throughout his teaching for the last few years, he would always suggest that we never ever consume GANS materials, never. And the other end of it, we would say, well, we're made up of GANS, but not to consume them, just to be on the safe side in this realm that we live in, legally. I've tasted them before because I know we're made out of GANS. So what they've done with these trials is they have cancer patients, and they're injecting the GANS material, and they've tried the liquid plasma, which is the water energized by the GANS material. So they've directly injected the GANS material into the blood of cancer patients. And an interesting thing, for several hours, 3, 4, 5, 6 hours, everybody's a bit different, nothing happens. All of a sudden, All the cancer cells, gone, disappeared. No more cancer. Instantly. Takes several hours, and then all of a sudden, the magic of the plasma completely eradicates and balances out all the cancer cells. Magic. This is where we're going with plasma technology. When I said a while ago, you guys ain't seen nothing yet with Masterfast, we're only going to keep expanding. This is what I'm talking about. So I put a video how to make CO2 GANs. They've done it with CO2 GANs, and they've done it with CH3 is a popular one, CuO, which is copper oxide, the zinc oxide, which is made with the CO2, and the, what's the other one? Calcium is another popular one they use. They make it from bones. Usually they suggest getting an organic chicken bones or something. The other one was blood, iron. The blood makes actual hemoglobin. If you add an iron rod, rusty iron rod in your CO2 container, you'll start getting hemoglobin. You get actual blood in your CO2 collection. So they've tested all of them. They're all safe, all safe. So what is injection into the bloodstream? Our bloodstream, as being taught by plasma technology, is our waste system, not our feeding system. It's opposite. Our lymph system is our energy system. So the blood system is always moving, and it's got oxygen, because if it didn't have oxygen, it would reek, because it's a sewer system. It has to have oxygen. And so we have a pump continuously pumping the sewer system so it doesn't go stagnant and stale and start reeking. But the lymph system, being our energy system, doesn't have a pump. The energy system moves through movement, through muscle movement. So the issue with that energy system is when we get stagnation, we move and there's no movement because we're not living in accordance to our natural laws, which we're designed for. So, you know, we need to find that balance to remove all the obstructions to get that lymph system being able to move very freely, where your vitality goes way up, and you basically won't need to sleep or eat much when you've removed most of these obstructions. Anybody who's been on Masterfast has experienced some of these feelings. So this GANS material, when you're injected into the blood, how else can we do that, folks, without using a needle? How else can we do that simply? Start producing GANS materials and start doing enemas with GANS materials, folks. Goes directly into the portal vein through energy. There's no absorption of matter. It's all field interaction. Field interaction. Clear out your bowels with enemas, do an implant of some GANS material with a little bit of water, and hold it in there. Let's see what happens to people. Start producing GANS materials, folks. Don't wait to buy it from somebody. Make it for yourself. It's so simple. It really is simple. You don't need to be a rocket scientist, just plasma science, which is creation, which is within us all. We're making GANS materials all the time within our body. Everything that comes out of our body is GANS in a GANS state. Our fecal matter is in a GANS state. Our urine is in a GANS state. The breath that comes out is in a GANS state. Everything, our body is in a GANS state. GANS state is gas in nano state. It's a semi-matter, semi-gas state. So we're doing it all the time, unconsciously. So we need to expand and understand to take us to another level. Mr. Keshe always teaches, he goes, if you're over 13 to 15-year-old, you're too old to understand plasma. This is not for us. It's for the next generations to go to space. Because we are brainwashed. That's the problem. A child, 3 to 5 years old, you start teaching them plasma science, they will run with this. They will be flying in like no tomorrow. You will see magic, which is not magic. It's the laws of creation, understood in how you can use them. So we highly recommend start making all the different GANs materials. Start with one, CO2 zinc oxide. You need a plate of zinc, you need a carbon rod, you can buy a welder supply, or some copper wire or a copper plate. Then you have to put it through a nano coating process, which is not that difficult. There's a lot of videos teaching that. And then you need some salt water. You get some sea salt, water, you mix it at a certain percentage, 3 to 5%, up to 10%, and you hook them up to the wire with a battery. You start producing these GANs materials, start being collected. And it's so simple. Then you just wash them and you keep producing and keep making. And you can do so many things with these materials. So this is where I believe that we can help people much more with these GANs materials in Master Fast, doing enemas with them. So let's get moving. Let's get making some GANs materials. It's so simple. It's so simple and so effective.
Phil is asking, is there a limit to how much CO2 zinc oxide I can consume? And would you argue that it is superior to lemon cooked grape juice?
You're not going to be wanting to drink large amounts of that stuff. Is it harmful? I don't think so. If you want to experiment on yourself and start guzzling it, you're going to be having to make a lot of these materials. But if you understand energy, you don't need large amounts. You don't need large amounts. Like when I'm talking about doing an implant, maybe half an ounce of the material mixed with a little bit of water and implant it. You don't need much materials. We're talking energy. It's not a matter of volume. The grape juice and the lemon does have field. It's also in a state of GANs because we've heated it. But the actual GANs materials, the CO2 and the elements, all the other elements, I believe they're in a stronger state than the grape juice. But the grape juice is strong. You're seeing what it does.
So the implant would be with the GANs material itself, or
With a little bit of water, because the GANs material, it's a little bit thick. It's like the consistency of sperm, kind of. So if you mix it with water, you put it like a quarter, half a cup or a cup, mix like a half an ounce to an ounce max. After you've cleaned your colon with enemas or colonic, then you do an implant and just hold it in. You just hold it in. Hold it in. Let's see what happens with cancer patients. Let's see what happens with any disease. We're talking energy. I think I've discussed this before. If you get a CO2 GANs, the water, once the water's energized, you can take the water, you get a GMO seed, you put the GMO seed in the liquid plasma we call the energized water, you soak it, plant that seed reverts back to its original state. Its original state, not the hybrid, original. They've done tests. The wheat usually has one stalk. I think, if my memory is correct, they had either 4 or 8 stalks, and they didn't have to replant them. They would grow every year themselves. It went back to something nobody's ever seen. So this is what we're talking about. Plasma is always seeking balance, and the balance is the balance of how creation's laws we're tied to, we're bound to, so it goes back to that. It's like I keep teaching that we have access to a perfect blueprint.
You guys can turn it up. It's not it doesn't bother us. I know it's hard to hear. Okay.
Somebody is on Evo, you're not on.
Hello.
Yeah, so what was I saying? We have access to the blueprint, but the only time we can really access the blueprint is through dry fasting. We have direct access to that blueprint, and the blueprint is actually not out, it's within. It's within. We expand by going within. When we go out, we contract. When we're looking for things out, we're contracting our energy. When we go within, we expand. So this is where a lot of people are missing the key. So we need to understand the simple laws of creation, of how it operates. Environment dictates outcome in creation. If the environment is correct to produce a fish will be manifested. It's that simple. As long as all the materials are there, the water, the elements, the air, bang, a fish will be manifested. Which came first, the chicken or the egg? You guys should be able to answer that. So, same thing in the body. Environment dictates outcome. Eating foods that cause obstructions changes the environment, changes the outcome. Sick, tired, whatever. Clean the environment changes, outcome has to change. Body goes back to balance. It's that simple. The process is simple. To do it and go through it can be challenging for some of us because we're such in a unbalanced state. So we have a lot of tools. And we're only going to keep expanding and getting, I see Master Fast being able to become more efficient, better results, faster results. Like I was just explaining, cancer cells disappearing within hours. Disappearing. No more cancer. That's where we're going. That's where we're going. So if you understand what I just said, cancer cell is basically a cell that's been damaged through chemistry we call an acidic state, which is a limited understanding. Has nothing to do with chemistry. Plasmatic state, energy is off and fields can't interact.
I'm gonna go, I'll be back in a little bit. Oh no, I gotta get my contacts on.
Create
I can take your car?
unbalanced state in the body. So we introduced the GANS material, plasma, always seeking balance. That's what it's doing. It's going in, it's circulating through the bloodstream. What starts happening, if you think about the solar system, all the planets rotating, they've all found position. We use those wording. They found their positioning, meaning they're always in that position and they're rotating in their position. They don't go out. Once you put the GANS material into the blood circulating, the plasmatic fields are interacting, the gravitational magnetic fields are interacting, everything's starting to find its position. As soon as everything finds its position, bang, cancer's eliminated. Eliminated because they found balance. They found their positioning. It's that simple. And that's what we're doing MasterFast in a different level. But that's all we're doing. Nutrition, this, that, it's all bullcrap, folks. Really, it's bullcrap. Everything we've been taught is bullcrap. It's so simple. 5-year-olds will understand it better than all of us. All of us. So, I can only suggest everybody start having a little plasma lab in their house. It doesn't take up much room. You can do it on a kitchen table, kitchen counter, bedroom, bathroom, wherever you have a little extra room, start collecting GANS materials because it will only help you. It will not do you any harm. I talked about it many times when I was in Italy. I got some people off of their diabetic medication just with GANS water. I got a lady that had horrific sciatica, hunched over for months, gave her a pain pad made out of GANS water. She straightened up in a couple of weeks. So, if you don't want to play with this stuff, don't. I'm just telling you what's available. It's beautiful, beautiful. When we can get into the realm of a little bit of understanding of creation. Just scratch the surface. Just like we scratched the surface doing 108 days of master fast. Scratch the surface. We just keep adding to the knowledge and expanding. Keep adding to the knowledge, expanding by going within. Keep adding and expanding. And we'll see where it takes us. Any more questions?
Is it okay to use metal spoon to mix the pudding? I heard you are not supposed to use metal spoon.
Use whatever you have. Don't think about it. You got charcoal that's in a high plasmatic state. Don't worry about it. Don't overthink things. Every time people start suggesting things like that, you got to buy organic in glass. Sorry, folks. We've gone beyond that. You don't need to. If you want to spend the extra money, if it's going to make you feel better, that's where you're going to put your consciousness towards that. I'm going to buy the cheapest juice in plastic bottles. That's where I'm at. Because it doesn't affect you. Especially when you're in an elimination mode on nature's operating table. Your body will not hold on it. It'll only use the energy to help heal, help the body heal and discharge all that crap. It's not going to affect you. That's why people get better, even with non-organic juices. Yeah, a lot of people don't agree with me. That's okay. I'm just telling you where I'm coming from. And I know a few of you agree with me because you have the experience and the understanding. It's just I'm trying to get people to open their minds and remove it.
Organic, no organic.
Try to go beyond matter state. Don't be stuck at looking at only matter state. It's very, very limited, this low field strength of plasma. It matters very low field strength, very low. That's why it's matter. We want to raise up. How do we raise up? We don't worry about glass, organic, and all that nonsense. The organic industry is another fraud to the people, if you guys haven't noticed. They're putting organic labels on non-organic foods. Who cares? Raise yourself up. Doesn't matter. Wash them, whatever. Do your best, you know. But you can wash them in GANS material. Hey, there's an idea. What does the GANS material do? It reverts all the chemicals back to their original state. Chemicals, where do they get them from? They're made from material on the earth. The only issue with them, there's extracts of chemistry that they're corrupted. GANS material will neutralize plasmatically all the chemicals in your non-organic food. But wait a minute, what's the body made out of? GANS material. Do we need extra GANS material? See where I'm going, folks? We really don't need anything external. But until we come to a level of understanding and knowing, we're going to still be using matter state things. When we really, truly know, without a doubt, we won't need any food, we won't need anything, we'll be perfectly balanced, sickness will be a thing of the past, and that's where we're going. And we can only do it together. I can't do it myself. I know it's all possible, but subconsciously, I'm as brainwashed as all of you. I went through all the schooling and all the bull crap and watched TV and listened to the priests, the doctors, and whatever else. And so we all have to add to the knowledge and expand. Any other questions?
Yeah, Fritz is asking regarding the plasma and the GANS for implantation. What about the sediment that needs to be eliminated via the kidneys? Does it dissolve? Does it just dissolve?
Well, as I explained, it doesn't dissolve. As I explained with the injection of the GANS into the blood, you're full of cancer cells, and all of a sudden when they find positioning, it, I'll give you the other example like I just mentioned before. When the environment is in its correct state, you can manifest any life form. So if it's water, you can manifest a fish if the environment and all the things there to create a fish. If you're in the jungle and all the environment is there to create a certain new being, it'll be manifested. Same thing happens in your blood when you introduce the GANS material. Since the GANS is always seeking balance, it's a plasmatic transformation. Maybe that's the word that you'll understand. Transmutation. They're not real the proper words, but it's done through gravitational magnetic field, finding position, because out of plasma, you can create a plasma ball with your hand. Just if you concentrate with all your intent and emotion, I can create a plasma ball. And there'll be people who'll be able to see that plasma ball. There's people who can see auras. It's the same thing. So within that plasma ball, if your intent and emotion reaches enough intensity of strength, you can create anything you want. Anything. Have you ever heard about healing with hands? What do you think they're doing? What do you think they're doing? It's all gravitational magnetic field strength. So with these field strengths, intent and emotion is everything. It starts with a thought. You put your intent and your emotion into it, and everything you see around you was all a thought to start off with. Everything, including ourselves, the plants, tables, chairs, cars, everything was a thought at one time. And it's manifested into matter. So yeah, that's the way it's working. It's not working in a matter level like we want to understand. It doesn't extract or this. It's automatically, completely changing it to put it back where it's supposed to be balanced. Right then and there, it happens that quick. It's a way. I've explained it. It takes time within the bloodstream, hours, and all of a sudden, that material finds its balance and its positioning, and the cancer cells disappear. That's what's happening. So, I hope that answered your question, Phyllis. Oh, Fez. Sorry, Fez. Yeah, I hope that answered your question. More of a transmutation kind of thing. That's not the proper word.
Another question, yeah, he says thank you. Another question is from Mariam. So you're saying that on a hybrid, I wouldn't heal?
Yeah, on a hybrid, you're gonna, if you go through the suggestions I've mentioned, reducing your food, if you do one meal a day, will be the best. If you're talking about trying to regenerate your thyroid on a hybrid, I can't see that happening unless you start getting into the plasma technology. You need to go to completely stop digestion for a long time to do regeneration of nerves, tissues, repairing scar tissues and all that. It only happens when you stop digestion completely. But if you're extending your time where your stomach's not doing any digestion, you're only having one meal. So basically it's 24 hours every time you eat. You have all that time that the body, maybe you have like 22, 23 hours after digestion's done for the body to put its emphasis on healing. Yes, we have people on hybrid doing and having amazing results. We have a lot of children that went on hybrid doing amazing results. We have people that, they're breastfeeding, some mothers. I think there's some women that were pregnant on hybrid. It's hard to keep track of everybody. Some elder people that are on hybrid, and then just regular people that are on hybrid, they just don't want to fast. And then some people living on hybrid. So we have all these various things. Are you going to get any results? Yeah, you're going to get results. Depends how far you want to take it. It's up to you. Up to you. A true fast is where you're going to get all the energy going to healing.
So if I want to start the true fast, is there, because I read somewhere where you wrote to not do more than 5 days or a certain number of hours without supervision, is that it?
For dry fasting.
I don't get it. There's a
dry fasting is no food, no drink, no nothing. Just air.
Oh, so that's the one, not more than 5 days, right?
We don't recommend, if you're starting off on the system, we have a range. We have every day 12 hours to a 20-hour range of dry fasting each day. and you have your small window of drinking. Everybody who's new starts on 12 hours. I have people that new are starting on 18, 20 hours. Too long. Start on 12 hours. Work on that for a few weeks, few months, and go expand. Every weekend or whatever day you want to choose, you do 24 hours. You start on 24. If we're more experienced with fasting and clean eating, we can go 36 or 48 hours each week. And then at the end of every month, we do 3 days. We try to do 3 days. Some of us will make it, some of us won't, but we try.
But what am I doing the other hours? I'm dry fasting 12 hours a day. What am I doing the other
Including your
hours?
sleep.
Right, but the other hours, am I only drinking or also
you're
eating?
not drinking, you're sipping on the juice.
On the
Just
master-
Sipping on juice, but never food.
That's
Is
the
that-
master fast.
one meal a day is the hybrid.
But if I want to not do the hybrid, just the full thing, like the regular fast, not the hybrid.
Oh, we're not eating, we're just drinking juice,
Yeah, so you
and we're
drink.
taking the herbs.
So you drink in the feeding window, you drink in the dry fasting window, no drink.
And the dry fasting window is nothing, and then the other window you're sipping and doing the herbs.
You really need to read.
She did.
I keep reading it. I just can't retain it. It's foggy in here. Just doesn't stay in.
If you look on my webpage near the top, it's a simplified of what I do on the Master Fast, and you just can add or take away from hours and put it to your liking.
Thanks.
So for 5 days, we suggest on every season change, we do 5-day dry fast. And if you're not comfortable, have supervision. If you're not used to fasting, you need supervision. But, a lot of us have done way beyond 5 days. I don't need supervision because I've been fasting for 26 years. I understand what fasting is. I'm not scared of it. The heart start palpitating, racing, headache, I've all been through it all. So I don't freak out. Most people freak out at any little thing. You see the way they're posting. Every little pain and thing, they're freaking out. What is this? What is that? What is? You're fasting. Leave the body alone. Get the mind. Put the back in the box. Close the box. So it's a process. Once you're comfortable with it and you're okay, you don't need supervision. But anytime you're new at fasting, I've said this before and I emphasize it, get up slowly from bed or from sitting position or whatever. You get up slowly because there's a few people who fainted and hit their heads. We don't want this to happen because you need to understand the weaknesses will all come to your surface when you're in a fast to heal. Not because you're dying. This is the way the body works. And at the beginning stages of fasting, maybe 1 or 2 years, you might get all these dizzy spells. But they do diminish. They get less and less and less to the point where you hardly get any. Like on me, it's pretty rare I'll get a dizzy spell. It happens very occasionally to me now. At the beginning when I was fasting, all the time. But, I was stuck on Arnold Hertzmuthus's diet and rational fasting, and I understood it because I read it many times. I understood it, so I didn't freak out. So I got up slowly, as he suggested. This is what people need to understand. It's simple. When you understand, don't freak out. The body knows what it's doing. You're not dying. You're not dying. We don't want people to fall down and smash their heads on a fast.
Yeah, listen to the signals. Listen to the signs. You will have signs before
You can do a lot of damage. So this is when you've done a little bit of reading, you'll have this understanding better. But as you practice and experiences trumps all. Experience, then you'll know. And I said, as we fast, I always say push beyond your comfort zone a little bit. And then the next time you reach that same area and you go, oh, okay, no problem. And you push even more. And then you get uncomfortable something and then you stop. But you always push beyond because every time you do it, you'll recognize that feeling and it won't freak you out the second time. Third time, oh, okay, you know what's happening. The body's working. The only issues that we have to watch that I've been mentioning before is the breathing. If you can't breathe, you gotta be taking care of it. Go ahead.
Gino, can you hear me?
Yeah, who's speaking?
My name's Matt Barron.
Go ahead.
Hey,
Matt.
How are you? I'm actually doing my first juice fast, and I planned on going 7 days, and the only tincture that I have is the Dr. Morse's M parasite. That's all I'm taking, and I'm also doing the psyllium husk pudding. And is it okay to do these short fasts without the herbs?
So many people have asked me this when they're waiting for their herbs. Is it okay to start till my herbs arrive? And
Yeah.
my answer is, if you're going to go on it, have at least the kidney tea and the psyllium pudding. We call it plasma pudding now. And I wouldn't go more than 6-7 days without herbs.
Okay.
Anything more
And
than that, get yourself on herbs and full support.
issues and some kind of weird throat pains and things like that. What would you suggest the package that I buy from you? I'd like to get your herbs because I understand they're very strong. So.
Well, I guess I mentioned earlier, Divine 9 is what I like to see people go on at least. It all depends what they think their health is worth. The 4 is the absolute minimum with the tea and the psyllium, the plasma pudding. That's the absolute minimum to be on a master fast. So you're keeping the doors open. You can go whatever you like. You can go 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 18 herbs, whatever you like of that. There's a few people that have actually went on like 18, 20 herbs, different tinctures, whatever. It's whatever you do. When I use herbs, I love using a lot of herbs, and that's why Dr. Morse's teaching of his herbology, his wisdom of putting many herbs in one formula is wonderful, because they really synergistically express themselves much better for a vast amount of different people in different astrological signs. That's the magic. So, in one formula, we have anywhere from 6 to 20 herbs, one formula.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why we have the magic happening with our formulas. So, and then you have many formulas to cover the glands, the organs, the bowels, the lymphatic, and the kidneys. We do a lot of work on the kidneys. And that's where we focus on, to keep things open. The doors, if the doors aren't open and you get stagnation and your body's trying to eliminate toxins, you get burning. That's how I burnt out my kidneys. I'm on a juice fast, Concord juice fast. I didn't do anything else back then, 1990.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I heard you say that it actually burned up your kidneys doing it that way.
Yeah, I did a little bit of damage.
Yeah. So I was looking at the Divine 9. Is that what most people usually get?
That's the most popular, Divine 9. The 6, the 6 and 9 is the most popular ones. I do a lot of 9s. Some people are getting the 12 now. I just put that out. And then you get people ordering the 4s because that's all they can afford or whatever. But you got to understand, ours are 250 mil. At the beginning, I was suggesting 2 to 3 times a day. But I'm finding that 2 times a day is really enough on the master fast. That's all you really need. And our dosage is half a teaspoon, which is 2.5 mil. Some people, it's too much for them. Some people, it's too much. So these bottles will last you easily 2 months. Some people have them last a full 108 days, depending on the dosage they're taking. Twice a day, beginning of the day, end of the day with your tea. And, think about, dividing it out for 108 days, 3 months, whatever it is. It's not much cost, folks. It's not much cost. You buy somebody else's herb, it's going to cost you a lot more for that long period.
Thank you. I appreciate your answers.
You're welcome.
I think
Hey, Gino?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is Hava in New York. How you doing tonight?
Great. Yourself?
Awesome. I just wanted to thank you so much for being the divine light and throwing yourself out there as a guinea pig for people that are trying this master cleanse. And I got to tell you, I'm sitting here with my wife. She's we just learned about you a couple of days ago, and currently, we've been raw vegans for quite some time, and we've done some suffering with the fats, and finally we said enough to it. We've done juicing during the day. My wife typically has 3 juices like pineapple, mint, apple mint juices, and I'm doing juicing during the day. And then in the evening, we come back, and it's so funny how you say that we're so conditioned to food. We have like a salad, and the salad just makes us so egoic, and it's creating so much tension in our relationship. And finally, we said, you know what? Less is more or less. We resonate with you so much. So now we're looking to make the change. It's imminent. It's happening right now.
Yeah.
Today we started our first dry day. We're feeling amazing right now. We're feeling
raw for a while. It's going to be easier.
Yeah, we're feeling amazing. So we wanted to ask you, what do you think would be like a good way to kind of ease into? We're relatively clean. Our thoughts are clear. But we really want to just go for it. So should we go? What would you suggest for us? We're in New York. We're in a cold climate.
Jump in.
Honestly,
now's the best time.
Yeah.
Go for the 108 days because spring is coming when you're done, and you'll have the beautiful fruit coming out. And that's what you want to break it with, right? Good fresh fruit. So, a lot of people don't like fasting in the winter, but seriously, we got a lot of tools to help us through these cold. We can put clothes on. We could use hot water bottles, saunas, cold shower. We got a lot of tools. Just stick it out. We live in Toronto. I've done fast in the winter. So what? It's if you're gonna be eating, you might as well have the best stuff available when you're gonna eat, which is the spring and summer, right?
Yeah, so, that's for sure. What about the durian? You had mentioned something about a durian too. So we have access. We're in Chinatown here. We have access to durian.
Yeah.
At one point, you had mentioned that it's such a terrific fruit.
It's adrenal. It's a kidney adrenal food.
Yeah, I saw you cut open the nut, and it was like the kidney shape. It's so amazing how nature it really gives you the hints right in front of your face, right?
Yeah. I did a stunt. What year was it? 2005 or 6. I lived on durian only and wheatgrass juice.
Wow.
And I was drinking like 16, 18 ounces of wheatgrass, and I was eating 1, 2, sometimes 3 whole durians in a day.
Wow. So you had the benefits of the durian, and then you had the wheatgrass alkalizing
It was an interesting. It was. You guys have eaten it. It changes your state when you eat it. Right?
Yeah. Of course. Yeah.
Like all the animals go nuts over durian. It's got that. It's something in there that is powerful.
Yeah, and it's like one of the best tasting things I've ever experienced. It tastes like vanilla ice cream.
Yeah, exactly. So now, to eat a whole durian now, I'm forcing myself. I can't eat what I used to eat.
Right.
I was Italian. I used to eat huge amounts of food. I used to make huge salads of bowls of eating the raw days and stuff. I don't eat nowhere near those times anymore. It's tough to eat anywhere near what I used to eat. I used to eat a lot of food. And I see these guys, in the 80-10-10, forcing themselves to eat 30 bananas. It's insane. It's ludicrous. It's ludicrous. Totally opposite of what we're doing. Less is more.
Yeah.
Keep the body, becomes more efficient. You won't need anything. The only thing you're going to fight with is your emotions. To feed the emotions is why we eat. There's no other reason, folks. The nutrition is a lie. It's only the obstructions that keeps our body from functioning at the levels that we need to not be able to ingest physical foods.
Here's a fear I want you to, it's not a fear, but, well, it kind of is. So I've been doing raw, right? And so I know you have the grape juice there, and it's pasteurized, which is totally cool. So if I wanted to take the Concord grapes and juice them in a Green Star, right? And then you have the lemon, right? You're saying it's not going to create a magnetic field like the
There's night and day difference from the cooked one.
Really?
There's lots of us have done the raw juice fast. I've done many. I've done raw juice fast, raw juice grape fast. I've done so many different kind of raw juice fruit fasts. I think Gabrielis, if I remember correctly, he did raw juice Concord grape juice fast. Right, Gabrielis? Is he still on?
For 2 years, I was doing grapefruit, Concord grape, for 2-3 months. with a lemon juice. It's nowhere even close.
There you go.
Nowhere.
I-
Nowhere.
I-
That's where recruiters are lost.
You guys, listen.
I
Listen.
like raw foods when I'm eating, but if you want to cleanse your body, no freaking way you're gonna achieve that with the raw stuff. No way. No way.
So what's the reason then the raw and the let's say the raw lemons and the pasteurized grapes, they work in synergy to pull everything out of you, to clean your pipes?
It's called gradient. You weren't in at the beginning that I was talking about it.
Okay.
It's a gradient. It's we're bringing the juice to higher order. When we cook, we bring it to higher order. I explained at the beginning. You're going to rewatch.
Okay. Okay, good.
And we're creating because of the gradient, we're creating a plasmatic field. I believe you can even cook the lemon juice. It's still going to work.
Oh, okay.
And it might be even more powerful.
What's your thoughts on sun gazing? I've been doing sun gazing for the last 3 years, and I'm achieving just amazing amounts of highly vibrational energies coming through the pineal gland, and it's expanding it, and it's opening my heart, and it's flooding through the temple, and it's pushing out a lot of the low vibrational experiences, like the guilt, the grief, all the things that we harbor in the emotional body. And it's allowing those things to escape through the portals of the feet. As I walk and I listen to you and you say, go out and ground and get your feet. Well, all the portals are assimilating, Mother Earth is assimilating all those energies, those emotional things that we're carrying around in our emotion. So that's been good. So I can't imagine these two things. Has there anyone that's been done both, the master cleanse and sun gazing? It would have to be like a miracle.
It's outdated.
Yeah, is it? Okay.
But the sun gazing, I did it. I did it when I was doing the high fat raw vegan. I did the whole thing from 10 seconds a day, adding 10 seconds. And I went up to 45 minutes. It took me over a year in Toronto because of clouds and stuff. I did it all, and then I went back down to 15 minutes, right? Reducing 1 minute a day. I did it all. It was a great experience. I lost my nearsightedness. It wasn't the sun gazing. It was not the sun gazing that did the damage. It was the high fat. It was the high fat. Because I got a lot of my eyesight back, going back, eliminating all that high fat crap, and back on the fruits and the herbs. I got a lot. I couldn't read anything before without glasses. Now, if I'm fasting and stuff, I'll get a bit blurry, but I can read unless the rating is really, really small. I had 20/20 vision before, but the feeling, the sense of being at peace was amazing. I love doing the sun gazing. But what we've learned now is, I talked about the GANS material, which we're made of. The GANS material is in a nano state, and there's millions of them in each drop. Each single particle has the potential of the sun. So, do we need anything external when we have millions and millions and maybe billions of these suns within? No, we don't. You don't. And another thing, energetically, these subtle energies at night are way more powerful than the sun. Go barefoot and walking at night. Let me know how you feel compared to barefoot walking in the day.
It's actually, I did. I was on a flight to California last week that left at 6 o'clock in New York, and I went to a tree in a park in Brooklyn, and I walked around the park barefooted, and the energy that I was emanating that day was through the roof.
There you go.
It was unbelievable.
Try day barefoot walking. Try night barefoot walking.
Why is that? Is that just the earth energy? Guy is healing at that point?
Yeah, no, it's because the sun's gravitational magnetic field is interacting, and it's we're getting a different energy with the sun. But at night, the energies are always there. It's just when the sun comes out, those strong, subtle energies go down below the earth. When the sun goes down, they come up, so we can absorb those. So you have to understand, we need both. There's animals that are nocturnal, is that what it's called? They live at night, and there's the animals in the day. So the energy has to always be there, whether there's sun or not. Now, if you look at plant growths, the plants, they're in the sun all day and everything. I don't know if you guys ever noticed. If you've ever grown sprouts, you'll know this. But when you wait overnight and you come in the morning with no light, they grow like crazy through the night. They don't do the most of their growing in the day. They do it at night because it's a different energy. It's more powerful. So we need both to some degree until we know that we don't need anything because we have it all within. We have it all within. So, you know, if you enjoy doing the sun gazing, that's fine, but don't look at it as something that we need that, because we don't. We don't. I stop sun gazing. Occasionally I can still look at the sun. After you've done it once, you can look out the sun straight, no problem. Where when you start, you're squinting and it hurts. And once
Yeah, right. Your eyes are adjusting. You get those little bubbles and stuff like that. But,
yeah. So, you know, once you've done it, you're accustomed to it. It's for life pretty much. It's a great thing if people want to experiment with that. But now that we're working with GANS materials and all that and plasma, it's kind of, we're limiting ourselves if we're using the things of nature, because nature, it's working under the principles and the laws of the universe. So why not expand to the universe? Take our blinders off. Let's go to the universe. Because this is limited here. We're going to be here a limited time. We're going to spend our eternity in the universe. So let's use it from now, have an understanding of it, and let's not limit ourselves like our mainstream science does with chemistry and all the other bull crap. It's got very limited knowledge because they're only looking at matter. They're not looking at all where everything's really happening. You know, like how does an element transmute to another element? Our parathyroid does that in our body. If your body needs calcium and it doesn't have calcium or whatever, it can use another element to transmute it. It's that word transmuting is not really the proper word. It changes the gravitational magnetic field strength to act like calcium. If it's like let's say you have extra sodium, it'll change the sodium's magnetic gravitational field strength and it'll act like calcium so your body can use it. That's the magic of plasma technology. But going back to the juice a little bit, I remember Gabriel, he told me that he did the actual the Concord grape. I did it for a few days because they're only around a limited time each year. But I've done other dark grapes. We used to get in Toronto these beautiful black grapes from South Africa. We don't get them no more, organic. They were beautiful. And I used to buy cases. I used to know the manager at the store. And I used to order cases and cases. He goes, "What are you doing?" We were doing all kinds of juice fasting. There's no power. And the funny thing is, I was locked in the raw is law.
Uh-huh.
I was so blind because I already did the Concord grape juice fast in 1990. I knew what it did. I was stuck in it like everybody else is. So there's no comparison. Try the two. You will see the difference. We have most people that are on the page that come from raw, fruitarian, vegan, whatever, that have done the juice fast, raw, this and that. They get on a massive fast and they're eliminating crap like they've never eliminated because they've never done the job. It doesn't get to like the liquid Drano we have.
How many? I have another question. How many years do you add on to your life if you, let's say, increase the amount of days of dry fasting to your week? So if let's say you're doing 1, 2, 3, 4, you could be adding 30, 40, 50. I mean, there are people now on this planet that are living biblical lives that they just don't tell us about, right? I mean, there are people in Samoa that are, there that are 200, 250 years old. I mean, and living a quality life too, because they're connected with source energy and the celestial, and they haven't been impurified. And I'm sure that there are people that are beyond that on this planet right now. It's just that they're not going to put that on the, your mainstream news.
If we look at mainstream science, okay, they have tests on lab rats and stuff. They reduce their food consumption. I can't remember how much. And they extend life 30, 40%. Just reducing the food consumption. I can't remember how much it was, 50% or something.
Yeah.
It's showing that less is more.
Yeah, that's for sure.
How far can it go? I don't know, but I'm pretty much like clockwork, doing 2 days a week dry fast, and then at the end of the month I do 3 days. That's pretty much clockwork for me. And every season change, I go as long as I can. I just did not long ago on the season change in December, 6.5 days. And I had to break it because my concussion, I had a concussion and it just triggered a horrific vertigo. But after that 6.5 days, you know what? After I broke it, the vertigo was gone. It healed it. And then I broke it 2 days and then I went back for another 4 days. So I just go as long as I can on a season change. But how are we going to calculate these things? I don't know. All I know is the breatharians that are teaching out there, which there's a few, they all claim that, they sleep less, they have more energy, et cetera, et cetera. And this is the experience I have when I've gotten into even the master fast. Once you clear the bowels, the energy levels go up and you sleep less. Your mind is clear. So, you understand and you come to know that less is more. Less is more up until your belief system. It's because if the mind starts talking, I haven't eaten for months, and you go back to the food. That's the problem. It's the emotion, the mind. So, how far can we take it? I don't know. I don't think there's a limit.
So while we're doing the master cleanse for the first time, then we're going to have to kind of recondition our mind too at a certain point. I'm 43, so I've been subject to major conditioning on this planet, So I just have to forgive the conditioning, all the people that did the conditioning, embrace it, love it, and then transmute or transform. Yeah. Yeah.
Just embrace it all, elevate all their souls and expand. Some people use the terminology, we need to forget what we've learned. Let's just add to the knowledge. We've learned that. It's not really correct and it's limited. So let's add to it. We keep adding and adding and adding. That's all we're doing. We keep adding to the knowledge. And the more we add, the more we expand within. And this is where it's going. Like I said, the children are going to take this, blow our minds in the next few years with plasma technology. I already see it. It's happening. So,
I saw you up in Toronto putting some plasma into a lake.
Yeah, Lake Ontario right here.
I was unsure. What does that do? Does that just elevate the oxygen levels in the lake, or what is that?
It's just energy.
Oh, okay, got it. Yeah.
So that anybody touches the water gets a little bit of that energy.
Beautiful.
So
thank you for that.
If everybody does that, what's going to happen? Eventually, it'll come to a point where the planet finds peace. That's what I see. We have a lot of really unbalanced minds on this planet, to say the least. We can only elevate their souls and hope they'll find balance and peace one day. But we can only lead by example and just do what we need to do ourselves, and that's all we can do. We can't force it upon anybody else, but this plasma technology is really something that took an interest for me very, very quickly when I started listening to, the planets. For example, they don't have wings, they don't have engines, and they don't have fuel. How do they keep moving for billions and billions of years? Where's that energy come from? When you can answer that, then you understand creation. It's not complicated. Gravitational magnetic field. Just play with magnets. That's all you're playing with. That energy's there. It's there. Whether science says you cannot tap into it or not, it's possible. And when you walk barefoot at night, you understand what I'm talking about. That's the energy. So, we're absorbing these energies all the time when we're not eating anyway, not on a subconscious level. We're doing it. So we need to come to a knowing where, okay, if we're doing it most of the day, maybe we can expand it a little more every day. And that's what we're doing. That's what we're training ourselves. And as we do it over the weeks, months, and years, we'll expand it more and more. So we'll eat less and less. And if we're going to come to the point where we don't need to eat no more, maybe some of us will, maybe some of us won't. It may not be experience for myself or you or any of you, but some of us, it may come to that point. We don't know. But this is where we have the understanding, even though we're not doing it, we're doing it part-time, we come to that level of understanding to get this new knowledge out there. And the new generations will take this much further than all of us, much further. It's happening. It's happening. There's more and more breatharians around the world happening all the time. People are, whether part-time or not. I can call myself part-time. We can all call ourselves part-time. Like I said, 9 days a month, I don't eat or drink. Minimum.
You got 60 million sun gazers around the world too, and that keeps on getting larger and larger too. So the collective consciousness and the awareness of this energy is getting larger and larger, and there's a tipping point. And I think we're past the tipping point, from what I understand from some channeling. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're going to see a lot of changes in the next few years. Big changes.
Yeah.
It's you know.
The old systems, the old energies that were, kind of guiding us in the planet can't survive this onslaught of love. It's a tsunami of love heading our way. Yeah. And that's just from the empowerment of our, our third dimensionality. So much gratitude and thanks to you for being so vocal right now.
2016 was divine 9, divine 9. 2017 is 1, the new beginning. That's it. We're into the new beginning. So this is where we're going to take it. Somebody got their mic open. But it's beautiful. It's seeing all these changes happening. It's just amazing. We're a little bit over 2 hours. I'd like to stay at 2 hours, and if anybody else has to watch it, it's not too long. So if anybody has a quick question, otherwise we'll call it a night.
We just wanted to say we love you. You're so inspiring, and that we're glad we came on tonight. You saved my soulmate and our relationship just by having this conversation, and we're going to just go. We're going to go all in now. Thank you so much for the amazing advice. Yeah.
Get all the stuff you need, all the materials. Don't be shy on herbs. They're going to be your best friends, and just focus. Keep the bowels moving. Stay on the program. Start on the low end of the dry fast and start expanding slowly. Don't go crazy that you need to do 18, 20 hours dry fast every day at the beginning, because when you're going 108 days, you're going to dig deep. And most people who have started with a lot of dry fasting having a trouble, big, huge, hard time trying to finish the 108 days. It goes deep. It goes very deep.
The alcohol in the herb tinctures. I guess what happens? They what was the question? Do they evaporate when you boil them? I guess it does, right?
You put them in the hot tea. A lot of the alcohol evaporates, but you can take them as a shot. You're taking such small amounts. The alcohol is irrelevant. You got to understand that it's not the alcohol we're using to socialize. It's medicine. It's spirit to spirit. The alcohol is spirit.
Beautiful. The
delivery system to our spirit. Mm-hmm. It works more on the spirit level than the physical level, which few people understand how herbs work. They work way more on the spirit level. That's the magic of herbs, and it's energy. It's plasmatic energy. This is why you can mix 50 to 100 herbs with all these different formulas. Mix them all up, put them in your body. Each single herb knows what to do. That's what we're talking about. Magic, beautiful.
Living intelligence.
Exactly. So, you don't have to worry about what they need to do. It's like, it's okay if I take all these herbs. Yeah, no problem. They're not stupid like we are. They know what to do. They don't live outside nature's laws. They're here for their purpose. They don't have an ego like we do.
Elena, you have a question?
Who was it?
Yes. Hi, everybody. Hi, Gina.
Hey, Elena.
Just a quick thing. If anybody is in New York area and need help and alone need help, I'll be glad to help somebody.
Oh, blessing. Excellent. Amazing. This is what we want to see, because especially people who have gone through it, they know, and they'd be able to assist you if anybody is an emergency kind of situation. Don't be shy if you have to go to an ER because you can't breathe. Some of us are going to pass. Don't be shy. It's we don't hide from the truth. We're all here for different experiences, and maybe this time around, this is it's time to leave a little bit early, whatever, but it's not a big deal. What's there to be scared of? It's just a transition. So, you know, if we can get these people in all different cities, countries, or whatever, that are able to help somebody in need, man, you know, how beautiful is that? We don't need a hospital. we don't need any more hospitals.
Can I ask you a question about the breathing?
Yeah, who's speaking?
You say about if a person can't breathe. What do you mean by they can't breathe? What's happening?
Well, the adrenals are controlling the breathing nervous system, and also a little bit of thyroid. And most people have weak adrenals and kidneys because they're all clogged up. So if you start dry fasting, you'll know what I'm talking about. When you start going 2-3 days, people, it's tough to breathe. It's you know, so you're forcing yourself to breathe. But the key is, if you move and force yourself, it opens up because you're moving the energy system, which is the lymph. And that's what I found out through dry fasting. You know, people are telling you to rest and be in bed. No, not in dry fasting. Move. Do yoga. Nothing crazy aggressive. Move. I got up some mornings and whoa, you know, like tough. My eyes completely blurry. When I was in Italy, doing that long one. And I just said, okay, I got to force myself. And I just, you know, forced. After about 10-15 minutes, things start opening up, flowing, bang. Get on my bike, go for a ride, go in the cold sea in the winter. Beautiful. So this is what I'm talking about. In fasting in general, things can and will change quickly from one thing to another, meaning you can feel amazing 1 second, and the next second you feel like you're going to die, or you're going to feel like you're dying. You do an enema, and you feel amazing, like you're on top of the world the next minute. This is fasting. Embrace it all. Use the tools, and your process will be a lot simpler and better. But the breathing is nothing to be scared of when you understand it. If you really can't breathe and something's going wrong, you use the burnt stick, like I teach. You get your burnt stick, and right away massage those adrenals and start doing some of the breathing techniques. There's lots of videos on the internet how to do different breathing techniques, the alternative nostril, the Iceman, the slow, deep breathing. There's many, many, many different breathing techniques. Learn them all. See which ones work for you in different situations, because you can use them all. And that way.
Hey, Gino. I had a quick question about mucoid plaque. Is that for real or is it a hoax?
Can somebody mail them some?
What's that? I mean, is it the bentonite clay that's binding up that's coming out, or is it really scraping your intestines and pulling out mucoid? Is that real?
We'll mail you some, and then you tell us.
No thanks.
Matt, let me tell you one thing.
Yeah.
What goes in's got to come out. That's logical, right?
Yes.
We're taking in 1 to 4 tablespoons of the pudding, we call it, and you know, it expands a bit. So you know, you might get about 1 stool worth of that stuff. And the purpose for taking this, a very important purpose. Plasmatically, the charcoal is doing its interaction plasmatically to neutralize toxins and acids and everything. It doesn't absorb physically like science tells us. That's why they use it in hospitals for poisoning and so on and so forth, because it eradicates the toxicity. Like plasmatically. They don't understand this. They think it's happening physically. The clay also has very strong drying properties, and the psyllium has absorbing properties and physically massaging, scraping as it's going through. And that's the purpose of it, to absorb all that crap, the toxins, acids, emotions from that the fast has loosened up to draw and pull it into itself to bring it out. And if you look at what everybody's eliminating and you smell it, you know it's not the pudding. You know.
Yeah, you're right. On my third day, I actually had a pretty good elimination, and it had all the bumps and the valleys in it.
Yeah.
And I was like, third day, so quick, you know.
But it's pulling from the walls of the intestine, interstitial.
Yeah.
I'll tell you one thing. My first 40-day juice fast, Concord grape juice fast, I didn't take anything, nothing. And that's how it burnt my kidneys. But all that black shit, I had it for, it started at about a week, and I eliminated almost every single day, long black things that you guys are all eliminating without the pudding. Where did it come from? It came from my intestinal walls, my stomach. It's all there, interstitially, stuck like glue. The body, when you start putting things into the body that the body cannot handle, like strong chemistries, like acids, the body protects itself by building mucoid plaque with whatever materials is available. So whatever you've eaten, it's going to build that protection because it's going to burn. And over the years, you start getting layers and layers and layers and layers, and that's what you guys start seeing when you start getting on this cleanse and start eliminating. And 108 days is not enough to clean it. Because it's not only through the GI tract, it's in every single cell you have a little bit of that plaque.
And it did smell. It did smell bad. It smelled like a sewage system.
Exactly.
To be honest with you. So.
When you go further with the fast, it will smell even worse.
Yeah, as you pull
Really?
Deeper?
you pull the layers of the onion, you go deeper, it's even worse to smell.
That's beautiful.
So yeah, so you know everybody's different, everybody's level of toxicity is different, but people who you know say it's Sicilian, yeah, whatever, it's Sicilian.
Yeah, that's one thing.
It's got its purpose. Let's say you didn't even have mucoid plaque, but you still have acids and toxins and chemicals. You don't want to be reabsorbing that stuff on the fast. So this will absorb it as it's going through, because the fast is loosening up to eliminate. It's only going to help you, folks. You don't want to not take these things. They're cheap insurances to help you make it smoother and more efficient, because you don't want to be ending up like I did without any knowledge and any help in any way, shape, or form.
And the clumps of mucus, the mucus, the worms that people release.
People are releasing all different colors of the rainbow.
So that's another thing. So that has nothing to do with psyllium.
Green, yellow, black, blue, all different colors. It's not only the pudding. Yeah, the pudding's coming out because it's going in, but it's there for a purpose. You know, and also as parasites, as it's going through, it'll pull in parasites, microscopic parasites, some worms and stuff. It'll pull it into itself. It's a wonderful, cheap tool to do that plasma pudding, we call it.
Yep. Total insurance.
Yeah. So that's why we need everything.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, we have 2.5 hours. Let's call it a night, and we'll go see you guys next week. And we'll keep going. We'll keep going and keep trying to help people on that board get their blinders off. But it's up to you guys, folks. I can only do so much. We will learn from each other a lot more. It can't only be one way. Like I learn more from you guys than you learn from me. So we keep expanding. Start getting your CO2 kits happening. And I want to see people doing enemas with them, honestly. I want to see people doing implants. Once you clean up the bowels, start doing CO2 zinc oxide GANs implants, half an ounce. Start in half an ounce with half a cup of water, because that'll be easy to hold. You warm it up, and let's see what's happening. Especially people with chronic imbalances in their bodies, like the names of cancers and so on and so forth, and diabetics, whatever the hell you want to call them, those names. But I don't like using those names because they're not ours. So we'll call it a night, folks. Thanks for being here. Really appreciate it, taking part, and God bless. Let the plasma love keep flowing. Let's keep
Thank you for the co-creation from New York. We appreciate it. Peace, love, and vibrations coming at you.
Right. If you're in Toronto, give us a call.
Yep. Will do.
Bye.